Viktor Romanov lay perfectly still on the grand canopy bed, the soft hum of the mansion's air conditioning filling the silence. Every detail was meticulous, the blankets folded just so, the room dimly lit to soften the angles of his face, giving the illusion of someone fragile and immobile. He had instructed the staff to keep the curtains drawn, the doors slightly ajar, so he could observe without being noticed. Outside, the garden glistened under the late afternoon sun, but Viktor's attention was fixed on the approaching figure at the gate. Eliza arrived in her sleek, black car, stepping out with the grace of someone accustomed to luxury. She carried a delicate purse and an expression carefully balanced between concern and poise. As she approached the entrance, she rehearsed her lines, the way she would appear attentive, loving, devoted. Viktor watched her every move from his hidden vantage point, noting the subtle flickers in her eyes, the tiny glances toward the estate's security camera, the quick assessment of the car's driveway and garage. When she entered the mansion, Eliza's demeanor shifted seamlessly from hurried concern to composed elegance. She checked her phone first, then looked around the room, commenting on the decor with a faint, practiced interest. Viktor's lips twitched, invisible to her, as he noted the calculated pauses she took before approaching him. He had imagined so many versions of this moment, but seeing her in motion, calculating and deliberate, made the contrast to his loyal maid, Anna, even sharper in his mind. Anna appeared shortly after, carrying a tray with tea, and her entrance was almost invisible, like a gentle current in the room. She approached Viktor with careful attention, her movements unhurried but instinctively protective. She adjusted the pillow behind his back, whispered softly to ensure he was comfortable, and even straightened the blanket tucked around his legs. There was no thought of reward, no desire to impress anyone, her concern was simply genuine, instinctive. Viktor's eyes, though he could not move, followed every gesture, every flicker of her care, and a seed of admiration began to grow quietly within him. The room filled with attention Viktor had orchestrated, a delicate dance of appearances. Eliza smiled, asking about insurance and future plans, while Anna quietly ensured his comfort, her presence a subtle but powerful contrast. Viktor, lying still, felt the first real stirrings of doubt about the people around him, and the first spark of certainty that the loyalty of the heart could not be faked. If you want, I can expand scene 2 next, showing Eliza's true colors in action and Anna's unwavering loyalty. Do you want me to do that? Eliza moved through the mansion with a practiced elegance, her heels clicking lightly on the marble floor as she surveyed the rooms. She paused at the grand staircase, subtly checking the layout, as if calculating how the estate could serve her own ambitions. Every smile she offered to the staff was measured, a mask of concern that barely concealed her true intentions. Viktor, lying silently in his bedroom, observed through the hidden camera feed he had installed months earlier, noting the ease with which she shifted between charm and calculation. Anna entered carrying a small tray with a carefully prepared lunch, her eyes immediately meeting Viktor's with warmth and concern. "Sir, I made your favorite soup," she said softly, adjusting his pillows with gentle precision. Her voice carried no hidden motives, no expectations of praise, only genuine care. She moved with a quiet efficiency, checking the water temperature, smoothing the sheets, and brushing a loose strand of hair from his forehead. Every gesture was instinctively protective, a stark contrast to the calculated interest Eliza displayed. Eliza lingered near the doorway, pretending to watch Anna's actions with mild approval, but her mind was elsewhere, considering investments, inheritance clauses, and the logistics of claiming control if Viktor remained incapacitated. She approached Viktor with exaggerated concern, leaning in close and lightly touching his hand, but her eyes flicked to the window, as if assessing escape routes or potential witnesses. Viktor felt the weight of her insincerity, even though he could not move. Anna, noticing his subtle discomfort, spoke gently. "How are you feeling today? Should I adjust the pillows more?" Her tone was patient, almost nurturing, and every word seemed to settle the room with an air of authenticity. She never glanced at her phone, never whispered about the family fortune, never considered her own advantage, her attention was entirely on Viktor's well-being. Viktor's mind raced as he compared the two women before him. Eliza, with her polished concern and hidden agendas, and Anna, with her quiet devotion and genuine empathy. For the first time in months, Viktor felt a deep awareness of who truly deserved his trust. He realized that wealth and charm could mask intentions, but true loyalty revealed itself in the simplest of actions, a warm smile, a careful gesture, a genuine question about one's comfort. The contrast could not have been clearer, and Victor felt a mixture of relief and anticipation for the next stage of his test. I can now expand Scene 3, where Victor starts his subtle tests to further reveal Eliza's greed and Anna's loyalty. Do you want me to continue with that? Victor began implementing his first subtle tests, carefully orchestrating small scenarios to observe both women under pressure. From his hidden vantage point, he monitored every detail. He had sent a series of urgent messages to Eliza, claiming that there were issues with the mansion's finances and that certain bills had gone unpaid. Her reaction was immediate. A flicker of panic crossed her face, quickly masked by composure. She rushed to the study, leafing through papers, muttering under her breath about deadlines and the potential impact on her future. Victor noticed the calculating gleam in her eyes as she paused to consider how she could manipulate the situation for her own benefit. Meanwhile, Anna moved quietly around the room, ensuring Victor's comfort, unaware of the fabricated financial panic. She adjusted the blanket, checked the water temperature, and asked softly, "Do you need anything else, sir? Is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable?" Her attention never wavered from Victor's well-being, even as the mansion buzzed with the undercurrent of Eliza's scheming. Each of Anna's gestures was instinctive, free of calculation, and Victor felt a growing admiration for her integrity. Eliza, sensing that Victor might be aware of her motives, attempted to charm him directly. She hovered at his bedside, touching his hand lightly, asking perfunctory questions about his health, but her questions felt hollow. She glanced frequently at Anna, perhaps suspecting that the maid knew more than she let on. Victor could see the tension building. Eliza's mask was cracking, and he was eager to watch her true colors emerge. Victor escalated the test further by pretending to experience sudden discomfort. He let out a soft groan, subtly shifting as though the pain were real. Anna immediately moved to his side, adjusting his position carefully, speaking soothingly, and ensuring he had water and support. Eliza, however, reacted differently. She looked briefly concerned but quickly checked her watch, murmuring about her next appointment and how the delay could interfere with her plans. The contrast was undeniable. Anna's empathy was selfless, Eliza's concern transactional. By the end of the day, Victor had seen enough to solidify his suspicions. Eliza's behavior confirmed her focus on wealth and convenience, while Anna's unwavering loyalty shone like a quiet beacon in the midst of deceit. Victor felt a mixture of frustration and relief, frustration at Eliza's duplicity, but relief in discovering someone whose intentions were pure. He knew the coming days would reveal even more, but for the first time, he began to envision a future where trust and genuine care could triumph over greed and ambition. If you want, I can expand Scene 4 next, where Victor starts leaving clues and testing their reactions in more personal ways. Do you want me to continue? Victor decided to take the tests a step further, leaving subtle clues around the mansion to gauge the reactions of both Eliza and Anna. In the morning, he, accidentally, mentioned that a valuable piece of jewelry, a family heirloom, was missing from the safe. He said it quietly to himself, careful to let the sound carry just enough to be overheard. Eliza's eyes immediately darted toward the safe, then toward the doors and windows, calculating escape routes and imagining how she could claim the heirloom for herself. Her mind raced with opportunistic schemes rather than concern for Victor, and he felt a mix of exasperation and grim amusement at her predictability. Anna, on the other hand, approached with quiet composure. She knelt beside Victor's bed, asking softly, "Sir, did you misplace it, or should I check the safe for you? I'll make sure everything is accounted for." Her tone carried no accusation or suspicion, only a genuine desire to help and protect. She methodically followed his instructions, carefully inspecting the safe, recounting the items, and returning everything exactly where it belonged. Her attention to detail was meticulous, and she never hesitated to prioritize Victor's comfort over her own convenience. Throughout the day, Victor continued these small tests. He forgot to schedule meals, left letters with ambiguous instructions, and feigned confusion over household arrangements. Eliza grew increasingly frustrated, her charm slipping as she muttered under her breath about inefficiency and the burden of the mansion. She occasionally tried to direct Anna, but her tone was commanding and impatient, lacking any warmth or genuine concern. Anna remained calm and attentive, completing each task with care and anticipating Victor's needs before he even voiced them. Victor, lying still yet fully aware, felt a quiet admiration building. Each test reinforced the stark contrast between the two women. Eliza's self-interest was glaring, while Anna's loyalty and empathy shone even brighter under scrutiny. The realization settled in Victor's mind that wealth and status could attract those who sought advantage, but it was character and heart that revealed true devotion. By evening, Victor felt a surge of anticipation for the ultimate revelation, knowing he had discovered someone who genuinely deserved his trust and care. I can now expand Scene 5, where the season culminates in the dramatic fall test and Victor fully sees the contrast between Eliza and Anna. Do you want me to do that next? Victor carefully orchestrated the final test of the season, a moment that would cement his observations and force the ultimate contrast between Eliza and Anna. Late in the afternoon, he called for assistance to help him transfer from the bed to his wheelchair. As Anna approached, he pretended to lose balance, letting his body tilt dangerously to the side. The gasp that escaped Anna's lips was immediate and genuine. She rushed to his side, steadying him with both hands, speaking in a soft, urgent tone. "Sir, be careful. I've got you, don't worry," she murmured, her eyes wide with concern. Every movement was precise yet infused with care, ensuring he was safe without drawing unnecessary attention. Eliza, standing a few feet away, froze momentarily. Her expression flickered between alarm and irritation, but it was clear her primary concern was not Victor's safety but the inconvenience and disruption of her plans. She glanced at her watch, muttered something about her next engagement, and then hovered uncertainly, unsure of how to react. Victor's heart, still hidden beneath his ruse, sank at the stark self-interest in her behavior. Anna remained fully attentive, guiding Victor securely into the wheelchair, checking his posture, and adjusting his blanket with a tender hand. She offered water and spoke gently, ensuring he felt both safe and comfortable. There was no hint of impatience, no thought of reward, only pure, instinctive care. Victor realized in that moment that Anna's loyalty and empathy were the genuine constants in a world otherwise dominated by opportunism. After ensuring Victor was seated safely, Anna stepped back, brushing off her hands with quiet dignity, as if her actions were the natural response of someone who cared deeply. Eliza, by contrast, began to plot in her mind, thinking about how she could exploit the situation to her advantage, clearly more focused on what she could gain than the well-being of the man she was supposed to love. Victor closed his eyes for a moment, savoring the clarity the day had brought him. The season ended with the mansion bathed in the warm glow of evening light, a symbolic illumination of truth. Wealth could attract pretense, but sincerity and integrity could not be bought. He knew that the choice he would make in the coming season would forever alter the course of his life, and the lives of those around him. The scene left the audience with a sense of anticipation, the tension between deception and genuine care ready to explode in the next chapter of Victor's story. If you want, I can start expanding Season 2, Scene 1, showing Victor's partial recovery, and the deeper tests he places on both Eliza and Anna. Do you want me to continue with that?